you have to buy them at Best Buy, because I just got a flyer the other day from them with, all sorts of great prices, great sale prices on laptops. Go buy one or two from them and stock them. Keep a couple in stock. I had this Lenovo laptop in stock. It was sitting I was looking right at it. It's exactly what she needed. So there's no reason why we shouldn't hold a few of these laptops. And I've heard on this podcast many a time guys saying, oh, I don't sell customers' laptop. I tell them to go buy them somewhere else. And that is just the wrong thing to do. Make sure you stock the odd laptop and the odd desktop, like one or two of each in there. It's only going to cost you a couple $1,000 to do that. And you're not going to make a ton of money on them, but you're going to make all your money on that data recovery. This customer didn't end up buying antivirus from me. They just went for the free antivirus. But that's another way you could have sold them and made a little bit of money on it. It's really easy. A really easy way for me to turn in a broken computer and a non-sale into a sale.
I got you.
And it doesn't take a lot. It's very simple.
No, that's good. But I have to ask you, why did you let her go to Best Buy in the first place?
So I always do the exact same thing. If people go, oh, I want a really, really cheap laptop, I go, okay, well, I don't sell really, really cheap laptops. The cheapest laptop I have is about $699. Oh, okay, that's too much. Okay, fair enough. When you go to Best Buy or Future Shop, just call me from there, from your cell, and I'll tell you if it's a good laptop or not.
Gotcha.
I'll give you free advice. I won't charge you anything for that. You're a good customer of mine. I don't mind doing that for you. And that works, I would say, 7 out of 10 times. They will 7 out of 10 times they will call me from the store that they bought it, they're looking at it at, and ask if it's any good. Because you got to remember, these guys at Future Shop I'll start saying Best Buy. These guys at Best Buy are kind of slimy, and people don't really like them very much. So when your customers go in there and start talking to these people, talking to the sales guys there, they're not going to like them, more likely.
Right.
They're going to like you a lot more, and it'll just prove to them that the extra $50 they're going to pay with you is just so worthwhile.
Right.
Plus, let them talk to the Geek Squad and tell them, oh yeah, it's $259 for us to, what do? They do like a PC tune-up on a brand new computer and all this other stuff that they do, right? So for my computers, the $750 computer that I sell includes all the decrapification.
Yes.
I just built that at the price, so I don't look like I'm a slime ball and I'm adding it into the cost, right? Because that just looks awful when you say, oh, you're buying this brand new computer, plus you need to do, you need to remove all the stuff that comes with it and get Geek Squad approved or whatever the heck they call it there. It just looks awful. It's worse than selling an extended warranty, right? People are just like all of a sudden like, oh no, that's terrible. I don't want that.
Right. I actually bought a computer that had the I forget what they called it, like setup or something like that from Geek Squad, only because it was the only one they had left. They were advertising this awesome laptop for $399. It was a Samsung like quad core laptop, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get that. And I went there and it said it was in stock, and I was excited. And there was 8 left. So I'm like, yes, 8 left. They were all opened by the Geek Squad, and they performed their little whatever they do on them. And some of them they added antivirus. Some of them they made the recovery CDs. And sometimes these computers come with the recovery CDs, but they make them anyway. Oh, it's nuts. And so I said, look, man, I don't want all that stuff. You don't have any unopened computers? He's like, well, I'll sell you this for the normal price, and I won't charge you for what the stuff we did to it. And I was even more hesitant to buy that because I felt my computer was tainted. Somebody touched it. You know what I mean? Somebody touched my brand new computer and did things to it before I did. And I really was uncomfortable with that, but I did it anyway. It turned out okay.
I've done the same thing. I had an Acer that I was buying for a customer, and I went into a Best Buy, and I'm like, okay, I need this computer. You have it on for $399. Oh yeah, no, the only 2 we have, the Geek Squad is touch. I'm like, I don't want to pay any more for any of that. Okay, we'll sell you the same price. Okay, I brought it home. It still had like at least 2 months worth of Windows updates to do, and the Norton crapware trial version on it. I was like, what did they actually do then?
I know.
They just opened it up, looked at it, and slapped the battery on.
I actually did a complete restore when I took it home. I tried it out for like a couple hours. I'm like, you know what? I don't trust this. I'm just wiping it, and I just wiped it.
I like that.
And screen repairs on laptops are very easy. I know you say you don't want to do them, but Do you think that they would? I mean, what about a tech that does enjoy it? Would you recommend that they do it?
Oh yeah, for sure. If it's a good way to make some money, fantastic. I like the idea. I really do. I just don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
But that is definitely on my list of things to do. The first tech that I hire, I will start doing screen replacements, DC jacks. And that's probably it. Besides, I do the basic other stuff, like obviously batteries, RAM, hard drive, all that stuff. That's all simple. But I will start doing it because it's a great way to make some money. I'm just busy on. I would find that would be for a road tech. It's too much time because I'd have to go pick up the laptop, bring it back to my shop, order the part, put the part in, make sure it's working, drive it back to the customer, drop it off. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But if you have a retail store, there's no doubt you should do it. You should do everything in a retail store if someone's bringing it to you, because that's saved. There's so much time saving on that.
Right. Totally.
Because on a screen replacement, I'd have to flat rate it. No way you'd get the actual hourly rate on it, plus the driving time. So it's just not worth it.
I got you.
But yeah, definitely, that's on my long list of things that one day in my business plan I'd like to do is to open up a small little. I really would love to one day open up like a small kiosk, like not even on a busy road, but not even a full shop. It's pretty much would be all counter to the customer, and then in the back would be just all like a whole bunch of computers being repaired, and very little retail location, just enough to have a whole bunch of printers and a whole bunch of software and just real high profit margin stuff. But that's it, really small, and have one tech in there. It's all he does all day is customers drop off stuff to him, and then he sells the basic things up front to the customer. But other than that, it would just be one massive, sort of fixing warehouse kind of thing.
Right. That's cool.
One day I would love to do that, and it is on my business plan, but today isn't that day quite yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got going on?
Okay, another one.
Don't worry about content, because I got a bunch of emails too we can read.
Okay, cool. I don't have a lot of content this week, guys. I'm really sorry. I just, again, moving, and it's just been crazy. But I got one more. This was a cool one. I really like this one. Okay, so the area I live in and the area I live in now, and this is where I want to work, and this is where I have been working, is probably the most wealthy area in, I hesitate in saying North America, but it's pretty close. It's a very, very rich area. Anyways, I was in this house, a gigantic mansion. Thing was huge, brand new, gorgeous. Maybe not a mansion. Maybe I would say in the neighborhood of 6,000 square feet. So pretty big house, right? And so I'm there. And he says his Outlook, every time he starts, it crashes. And I'm like, okay, I come out and see him. He's a decent customer. I've seen him once before. Not a good customer. When I opened it, it crashed as it opens it. Outlook 2003. I go look at his PST file, 16 gigs. Holy crap. Okay, well, there's a reason everything's crashing. This PST file, 16 gigs. It's just too much. It can't be that big. Outlook just chokes, especially 2003. I think the maximum it says is supposed to be is like 2 gigs or 4 gigs or something like that.
Well, and then it should limit it. I hate that PST file.
It's brutal. So anyways, I ran the PST repair tool, blah, blah, blah. And Outlook finally opened. And so right away, we archived I forget what it was. Maybe I think it was at least 10 gigs worth of stuff we archived right away. And so it was working a little better. And I said, you got to go through all this and archive more. We need, archive it all, get that PST file down to, 1 or 2 gigs. Okay, good. So that problem's fixed. Great. That took me about an hour and a half to do everything. Okay, fantastic. As I'm sitting there just chatting with this guy, because he's a real interesting guy, and I always like talking to the wealthy and getting their, what they have to say on how they make money and all that kind of stuff. So I pick their brains always. Anyway, his wife walks in with her iPad, and she goes, honey, I'm sick of this. I can never get internet on the other end of the house. And he went, oh, I forgot all about that. Can you help her with that? I was like, oh, this is great. Right. So I walk over to the other end of the house. Sure enough, she has one bar and it's cutting in and out on her iPad. And, the iPad actually has a really, really good wireless antenna in it. So this shows you how big the house was. It's a long way away. And I was like, oh, this is great. And I have a perfect fix for this. And I do. And I've done this in about 3 or 4 houses. And this is the fix. It's very, very simple and a great way to make tons of money. You get power over, or was it Ethernet over power adapters? These little adapters that they plug into power line, regular power outlets into the house. and you plug one in one corner of the house that has the internet connection, and then you plug in your wire from the router into this, and then you walk over to the other end of the house and plug the other one into the other power outlet and make sure there's a connection. And 9 out of 10 times there will be without you doing anything. It is really quite amazing how well these work. Then you get about 200 megabits a second, which is pretty good. You know, it's fast enough. They're not doing file transfers. They want to surf the internet. And then you make sure you have all this stuff in stock. You have an Airport Express in your van. And so it's going to take up one exact power outlet, because you need the bottom power for the power over Ethernet box, and the other power outlet for the Apple Airport Express.
Yeah. And
then you plug the cable in, and boom, you've created a fully solid, brand new connection for this customer that is 2.4 gigahertz N, perfect for their iPad and their iPhone. So at the other end of the house, they have a super, super awesome connection to the internet. And I did this, and it takes me, so I bill an hour for it. It takes me about 25 minutes. The parts cost me, there's no way of getting around the $99 for the Airport Express unless you buy them refurbished from Apple. Fine, you can do that. I don't. I just pay the $99 for the Airport Express. And then I get the power over Ethernet adapters. I usually either get D-Link or Trend, I think it's TrendNet or TrendNet.
Yeah.
Ones. And they're $69. And I charge $150 for those and $99 for the Apple one, because I can't charge any more for that. So I've made so far about $79 on the power of Ethernet and 1 hour at $89. So I've made $160 for 30 minutes worth of work. And if you call that work, I mean, it's plug in, wait, connect iPad, connect iPhone. Okay, it works. Fantastic. And it's a super fast, solid internet connection where they don't have to pay for a secondary internet connection. And this works in a big house, small house. If there's like weird, some people, you go into their houses and there's like, weird walls in a house that some wireless is just messy. I just don't totally understand it, I guess. And some places you go and wireless is working perfect. And other places you go, for some reason, one room doesn't have it. And you're like, I don't understand why the wireless doesn't make it through to the other room.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it is what it is, right? So these are just a great little kit. The customer is stoked because now they have super fast internet, and their iPhone wasn't working at there either. They were on 3G. So you just tell them, well, I just saved you all this money on your data too. You're no longer going to be using your 3G connection because you had no wireless. Now they're rich, so it's not the end of they weren't. They're just happy that everything's super fast, right? The money really wasn't that a big deal to them. And again, I made $150, $160 for very little work. The key to that is there's two things. One is I was going to say, if that customer hadn't walked in, that was the perfect solution, and said, my iPad is working. The first thing I would have said before I wrote up the bill to the customers, is there any other problems in your house that I can help you solve when it comes to your computers? And hopefully that would have triggered him to go, oh, my wife's iPad.
Right.
Now, I didn't have to do that because his wife walked in. The key, though, is to make sure you have those parts. Because if you have to come back, they go, well, let us think about it. But if you have it then and there and go, I can get this done right now, they'll be like, oh, yeah, go ahead, do it. Because they want it done. They're frustrated. They're mad. They're thinking about it that day and time.
So you stock them?
Parts.
You stock them?
I do. I stock actually 2 sets of power over Ethernet. I call them power over Ethernet. I don't even know if that's right.
I think it is, according to a network engineer in the chat.
Okay, good. So power over Ethernet is what I call them. And I always stock 2 of the Airport Expresses because I actually sell lots of those. They're a great little device if someone has a problem with their wireless, if they have a really old router and the wireless is dead, but I just say, hey, you can have one of 2 ways. We can sell you a new router, or I could sell you a Airport Express, whatever you want to do, and just turn off their wireless in their router, and it just becomes a router, and then plug in an Airport Express. And one thing, I can say, everyone can say a lot of things about Apple, but their networking stuff has the strongest antennas I've ever used out of anything. They're really, really good. So they're expensive, $100. But yeah, I
have an Airport Express. It's killer. It's super solid. It gets hot. Mm-hmm. Don't put it on like a carpet. Like elevate it a little bit. But other than that, it's beautiful. Yeah,
great little devices. You'll find you'll sell lots when you. So the thing is, I find if I don't have it on me, I won't sell it. If I have it with me, I try and sell it. So if I know it's in my car, I'll go, oh boy, that's in my car and it's been sitting a while and it's dead stock. I'll try and sell it. I'll look around and try and figure out